Hi guys, welcome to another episode of Mbali Talks with me, Mbali, your platform for all things business, fashion and lifestyle. Today's video is actually part 2 of our Alibaba Q&A session because like I mentioned in that video, there's just so many questions that you guys always send me with regards to the initial Alibaba video that I did, and if I were to try and do one video, it would literally mean we're gonna spend the whole day being on YouTube, right? So I thought to myself it's only fair for us to break it down so that I can be able to answer all the questions as accurately as I can and as the best to my knowledge. If you've just found our channel, you just landed on one of the best channels on YouTube right now, so please don't leave without joining our community by hitting that subscribe button below and also turn on your notifications because trust me honey, you don't want to miss out on any of the content that happens on this channel. And if you've been with us since day one, thank you so very much for continuing to come back. You guys are the reason this channel stays alive, so thank you so very much for that. As earlier mentioned, today's video is actually part 2 of the Alibaba Q&A session that I did about a week ago, and I'm just here to answer a couple of questions. Maybe you've actually tried the platform out based on my initial video and you've come across a couple of challenges and you're not really sure how to go about it. Well, that's what today's video is about today. Our first question goes a bit like this. I have been watching your YouTube videos for a while now and I'm halfway through my research and I want to buy samples first, but I've bought some bags on SHEIN, which is more expensive than Alibaba but with free shipping. First of all, obviously if you're going to buy from a site that says free shipping, chances are the cost per item is going to be more expensive. And also, I'm not too sure if SHEIN is the best platform for you to try to use as a reseller because first of all, they sell basically to anyone and everyone, and I feel like their items are quite distinctive, so it would be easy for someone to be able to spot where you actually bought the item, and then they'd feel like, well, if the item comes at free shipping, I might as well buy it for myself than buying from a reseller. Second question. I would like you to help me buy in bulk to partner with others around Durban because the shipping cost of Alibaba is too much. And again, like I mentioned in the first video of our Alibaba Q&A, shipping from Alibaba is going to seem pricey if you're buying just one item. Which is why ideally Alibaba works for people who want to buy on a bulk basis. Because if you're able to buy, say maybe 100 items, or maybe let's cut it down to 20. You're buying 20 items for your business. Even if the shipping cost can seem like it's a bit high, it's a shipping cost that you can spread across all the products that you would have already bought so that by the time you see the product as an individual cost, you might find it's actually cheaper for you to buy it like that. But if you're only going to buy 1 or 2 items and then suddenly have to pay shipping costs of say maybe 700, 1000 or even 1.5, it will definitely seem like it is a lot of money, which is why I would not advise Alibaba for somebody who feels like they're just starting out in their business. All they have is a budget of say maybe 1000 rand to stock their products. With that said, it's an amazing platform for you to be able to use if you are financially ready to start your business. And also again, like I said in that video, it helps for you to start off by buying a sample, even though a sample is going to be a bit higher than you actually buying in bulk. And the reason you want to buy a sample is, again, you want to be able to review the product before you can actually think you're going to buy 20 items of it. You don't want a situation where you think you're trying to spread your shipping costs across a couple of products by suddenly buying 30 of the products, only for them to get here because you've never sampled them, only for them to get here and you discover, well, actually these products are crappy. Now you've got crappy items in your inventory who you have spent your business money on that you can't even sell anymore because they're just unsellable. Another idea is for you to try and find people within your area that you can actually share shipping costs with. This is where it comes in to use a container. So using a container basically means you find an agent in China that can help you with the logistics of how you're going to get your garments here. What basically happens is the agent in China collects your items from whichever other supplier that you've brought from, puts them all together in one container and then sends them down to South Africa. Being able to use a container is ideally cheaper, however, you must make sure that the container is full to capacity or at least enough for it to make sense for the container to leave the Chinese dock to come all the way here. Because otherwise, you're going to find yourself paying exorbitant amounts of money to get things here via a courier or via a container thinking it's going to be cheaper, only for you to realize because you only bought just a bit, getting the container here is actually more expensive than if you had actually used flight shipping. In Swaziland, in fact, I know that there are a lot of people that try to buy together, which basically means they bale their items together and then send them to one shipping agent who then takes all those things and puts them in a container for them to get to Swaziland. It's not the easiest of markets to get into because a lot of people that are in those types of relationships, they're a bit skeptical to bring in small business people because, again, today you're going to be here and they're relying on you to be able to share the shipping costs. Tomorrow your business fails and then suddenly you're unable. And then they just feel like they keep going in and out and back and forth with people, putting them on the list, taking them off the list, and then that just seems like a lot of work for them to do, so you don't really find them to be willing to help you when it comes to that. However, that's not me discouraging you from trying to find people in the same industry, selling the same types of products, who you can actually come together with in order for you guys to be able to buy in bulk. The next question goes like this. To give you a bit of context, I'm looking to start my business in the gym equipment business. And after long searches and finally finding good suppliers, I wanted to order samples and I hit a snag when shipping charges went over 2,000. And I wanted to know if you could assist me with alternatives of a workaround high shipping costs. I tried DHL as well, but the quote I got was over 10,000. Are there any other cheaper options to these? Okay, so when you're trying to stock items that are of a certain weight, you are most likely to end up paying a lot of money for courier, which is why it is advisable for you to rather use a container and also to buy in bulk. A lot of the companies that you see today that have heavy machinery or they have a lot of equipment that they sell, those people are actually people who took the time to actually get on a plane, go all the way to China to meet the suppliers, to negotiate the prices, and then creating the relationships with the agents already in China so that they can be able to convince them to bring their goods via something as big as a container. And like I said, a container only works best if you're going to buy in bulk, and however, it is definitely the best form of shipping if you're going to be shipping heavy items. Companies like DHL and FedEx, those companies charge based per kilo. So you can imagine if maybe what you're trying to buy, say for example, it's dumbbells. Dumbbells weigh 2 kg. Already you're looking at something that's weighing more than 0.5 kgs, you know? And I see this a lot when we're trying to buy hair because obviously the supplier is going to put the weight of the hair that we've bought on whatever shipping document that they are going to use. And sometimes because of the heaviness of the hair, and hair is not the heaviest thing, hey, but if you bulk it, then it does become heavy. You find we pay a higher amount for the shipping than we would if maybe we're buying 10 sets of hair or 10 sets of wigs. So definitely when you're trying to buy something that's a bit heavier, I would definitely look into the business of trying to use an agent to get it into a container and for it to get to South Africa. Alternatively, find people within your area who are either in the same industry or who just want to import things all the way from China. Then you guys can come together and get one agent and be able to use it. In fact, I have tried to find an agent for people because I felt like this question is a question that comes up quite a lot because people think you're going to buy on Alibaba and then you're going to pay 500 Rand shipping and then you're going to get your goods. It's not going to happen, guys. Anyway, this issue about the agent is something that I speak about in another point as we continue with the video. Another piece of advice with some of the heavier items is that if you can, try to source them locally. There's a lot of local companies that you find manufacture a lot of these things that are heavy, your furniture, like the gym equipment. If you are able to find people like that within your area, even if it's not a company that supplies them, but you find it's a person who can actually make them for you because they are talented in that. I see a lot of new popping up furniture places or interior design people, and those people, it's not that they actually have a firm or a studio where they can make those furniture. They've gone around and found a couple of people who actually can, literally on the street, who actually have the talent and the tools to do it. They go, they hire those people for maybe to make a couch or to make a bed or to make a headboard, and then suddenly you are able to start your business. So again, if you can, try to see if the thing that you actually want to import from China cannot be something that can be found locally so that you can avoid all these problems of import tax and shipping costs and heavy goods, etc., etc. The next question has to do with sample and sample prices. I would like to ask how the prices on Alibaba work. There isn't anyone I personally know that can assist me. I see some supplier prices are like 2 to 99 pieces for $6.35. What I would like to know is, will I be getting 2 to 99 pieces for $6.35 or each piece will be sold to me at $6.35? Okay, as mentioned in the first Alibaba video that I did, suppliers are going to want to try and convince you to buy more than one item, which is basically buy more than just a sample. Which is why when you go to the Alibaba platform, you're going to see something like there's a price for maybe if you buy 2 to 99 pieces, which means if you buy more than one piece, then the price of the garment or the item is going to be that much. And then the supplier will go on to say something like if you buy 10 to 99 pieces, you see that the price changes. Say for example, the first price is 6 rand if you buy 2 to 99 pieces. Then if you buy 10 to 99 pieces, the price is 4 rand. Obviously, it basically means the supplier would ideally want you to buy 10 items or more so that they can offer you a discount that actually makes sense. Unfortunately, you are never going to be able to buy 2 to 99 pieces of anything for just $6. If that were the case, trust me, you don't want those products because chances are they are nothing. Like the quality is bad, like it is horrible. So just be careful of that when you're looking for the prices and trying to make a price point for your business. Suppliers will always, again, be trying to get you to buy more than just one item, which is why if you try to buy a sample, you find the shipping cost plus the price of the sample is actually way more higher than it would cost you if you were to buy, say for example, 5 items from the supplier. Another way to try and get the price to be a bit down is for you to send an inquiry to the supplier instead of just trying to buy straight from the platform by saying add to cart and then going to check out. Because suppliers, when you talk to them in the inbox, you kind of have a leeway of being able to negotiate even the shipping costs, being able to negotiate even the price of the product, because while they're trying to convince you to buy, if you kind of seem uninterested, they are more willing to kind of lower the price so that they can lure you. I don't know how many times I've found hair suppliers on Alibaba, and each time they realize that I'm really not willing to buy at their price because I feel like I've actually bought this from a different person and I'm just trying to test out your quality because obviously variety is better. They come back with a different price list to say, you know what, now we're willing to sell you this at say maybe $25, and I'm just making an example. Hair is not $25, guys. If it were, we would all be selling hair. We would all have wigs that make sense. But anyway, it's just that I know that they will make an effort to try and reduce the price for you, but you will not be able to get to that point if all you do is say add to cart, go to checkout and pay the first amount of money that you're going to see. It means you skip the part where you're able to actually talk one-on-one with the supplier in an effort for you to be able to negotiate the prices of the items that you're buying. So I definitely advise you guys to try and not do the add to cart thing. Rather send an inquiry to the supplier so that you can actually get to talk to them one-on-one. Again, I've said this in the video, don't try to quickly go to WhatsApp. The only time that I feel you should be talking to your supplier on WhatsApp after you found them on Alibaba is if they want to send you more pictures of the item. But always remember to then go back to the Alibaba platform to go and pay there. And again, the only time maybe you would feel now you're comfortable to use PayPal via your WhatsApp for the supplier to be able to send you an invoice is if you've created a relationship with the supplier. Otherwise, I would stay away from those situations because quite honestly, there are a lot of scams online, guys. Even on a platform as big as Alibaba, even on a platform that actually tries to verify its suppliers, you don't want to do the thing that is going to allow you to be more open to risk of losing your money. So I definitely think of that when I'm trying to buy my pieces. The next and the last question is actually something that, again, I get a lot of, and I just feel like it's such a hard question for me because there's so many things that go into you being able to find an agent, guys, in China, and I'm just going to try and answer it to the best of my abilities and based on my experience. So the question goes like this. I don't know if you know of any shipping agents I can use to ship clothing from China to Johannesburg. My Alibaba supplier's shipping is expensive, and so they suggested I use a shipping agent. I don't know if you know of any that you can recommend. So quite honestly, a lot of suppliers do actually have numbers and contacts of agents that they can refer you to, but I found they tend to try not to so that they can benefit from charging you high prices. This is very sad, to be quite honest, but this is online shopping. What can we do? Once in a while, however, you're going to be able to find a supplier who says because they really do want to create the business relationship with you, and obviously by you continuing to buy from them, they know that their business is also growing. They are going to actually suggest a supplier for you that you can contact. I had an experience where I actually asked one of my hair suppliers if they knew of an agent because I just really wanted to buy that kind of item in bulk. And the supplier, SHEIN, kindly enough did give me a number for a person that I can WhatsApp who was an agent who I actually did try to contact. It's just that the person was not forthcoming, which obviously made me feel like I wasn't sure if the goods were going to be safe even if I were to try to get them to them. So the way that an agent works is that you as the person, you buy from the supplier, and then you tell the agent that this is what I've bought. You send them the documentation, the proof of your invoice, and then the agent is the one who takes the responsibility of getting the things from the supplier to themselves and then getting the stuff either on an airplane or on a container for them to get here. The one thing that you need to know about agents also is that you will need to pay for the shipping fee of actually getting the items from the supplier to the agent. Even though the agent is going to include that cost in the total cost of shipping, it's still a cost that you can't avoid, because again, no one is going to leave their company or their factory to go and fetch things for you for free at a different supplier. They are definitely going to include it in the cost of the invoice. However, because by the time you're dealing with an agent, it's either the agent physically knows you, like the companies that I said actually go to China to create those relationships, or it's an agent that has worked with you for a couple of times and therefore they are willing to kind of discount the amount of money that they're going to charge you when it comes to shipping. Another idea again is that if you use a container, you are more likely to pay less of the shipping cost. But it doesn't then mean instead of paying 20,000, you're suddenly going to pay 5,000. You're probably going to end up paying 12,000 rand to bring your items here if you are a bulk buyer that is now eligible to use a container. Another option for you to be able to try and avoid having to pay different shipping fees to different suppliers on the platform is for you to try and get everything from one supplier. I know of a friend who actually has a business that she stocks using Alibaba.com. However, she will go on AliExpress to go and find the pictures of the items that she wants to buy and then go to Alibaba and find a supplier who seems like they sell the same thing. What she then does is send the AliExpress pictures to her Alibaba supplier, because chances are the supplier has all those things in their factory already, even though the things are not all there online on their Alibaba page. That's basically because a lot of the companies that are in China that sell certain things, literally they have everything under the same roof, but it's just too many products for them to be able to post each picture and each picture and each picture. That's why when you send an inquiry to a supplier, sometimes they are literally going to ask you if you would like them to send you their catalog. And then when you get the catalog, you realize these people have so many products to choose from, and which sometimes, quite honestly, can leave you feeling a bit confused because you would have only seen maybe 2 or 3 of the items that you actually want. But it's definitely worth taking a chance so that by the time you buy the items, you buy from one supplier, you pay one shipping fee. Even if the shipping fee is high, you've now spread it across, say, maybe 500 items of the thing that you're buying, or maybe 100 items of the thing that you're buying, but you're still able to get the many different kinds of products that you actually wanted. The last bit of the agent story when it comes to Alibaba is actually a link that I've put in the description box, so I hope you've made it to the end of this video, because this is where I was actually going to get to. So when I was on Alibaba the one time, I was just trying to figure out again this whole shipping thing and this agent thing, because of all the questions that I'd been getting. I actually came across something that has to do with shipping agents and drop shipping and Amazon FBA agents. A disclaimer is that I've not actually been able to use any of the agents that I found via the Alibaba platform, because I've not really had to use them in my business as a result. So I would not know if they work or if they don't. So that's something that you can take upon yourself to be able to try and do a bit more research, maybe send them a message, try to contact them, because again, like I said, they were just literally written shipping agent, Amazon shipping agent, and chances are they would probably be able to work for you even though you're not an Amazon person or you're not a business that actually sells on Amazon. So do remember to check the description box, because I've actually linked a link of the picture that I actually took a screenshot of the day that I found those agents. I hope you've made it to the end of this video and that all the questions that I've answered on this video are actually questions that are going to be useful to you. Since the first video, I've actually received a couple of more questions which are not exactly the ones that we've already discussed, and I thought to myself, we're more likely to end up having a part 3 of this series, because like I said at the beginning, there's so many questions on Alibaba, guys. We would end up spending the whole of our lives here on YouTube trying to figure out how to buy on the Alibaba platform. In addition, I'd also advise you to just do a bit of more personal research before you actually try to use a platform like Alibaba. Not only that, I will reiterate that Alibaba works best for people who want to buy in bulk. So if all you want to do is start your business with, say, maybe 1,000 rand, then Alibaba unfortunately is not the platform for you. You, honey, would rather go into China Mall here in Johannesburg or in Small Street to be able to start your business. Even if it's just a business that you use to create capital for the actual big business that you want to have that will will now allow you to buy on a platform as big as Alibaba. If you've made it to the end of this video, thank you so much for staying by. I know that these questions are things that you guys always have in your mind, and I'm so glad that we've actually found the time and place for us to be able to do a video like this. I do hope that you'd actually watch the first video, which is part 1, because you might find if I've not touched on your question on this video, it's probably in the other video. Also, like I mentioned, we might be having a third part series, but I just want to make sure that the questions that have started coming in are not repetitive questions, because then otherwise we'd basically be saying the same thing over and over again, and we don't want to do that. If you haven't joined our community, honey, please do yourself a favor and do me a favor and hit that subscribe button so that we can grow the community. And also please hit that like button, because that works well for my YouTube algorithm. And also leave me a comment below to let me know what other content you'd like to see on this channel going forward. Other than that, thank you so much for tuning in. I'm going to see you guys in the next video. Cheers.